OK Computer is the third studio album by the English rock band Radiohead, released in 1997. Radiohead self-produced the album with Nigel Goodrich, an arrangement they have used for all their subsequent albums. Radiohead recorded most of OK Computer in their rehearsal space in Oxfordshire and the historic mansion of St. Catherine's Court in Bath. Which is owned by Jane Seymour, nonetheless, Brad.
Dr. Quinn, medicine woman.
Yeah, it's her house.
Somehow, somewhere, someone's getting paid money just because we mentioned her name.
Yeah, every time we say Jane Seymour, we have to give $1 to her.
And also,
in fact,
baby Lorenzo Lamar gets wings.
Lorenzo Lamar?
A renegade. Who was that? There was like a lot. Oh, Sully. That was his name. Remember that? The long-haired guy? The handsome guy for the lettuce on Dr. Quinn? I'm sure it was Sully. I don't know. Let us know in the comments who Dr. Quinn's hot piece of ass was in that TV show from the 90s. Do go on. Back on topic.
The band distanced themselves from the guitar-centered, lyrically introspective style of their previous album, The Bends. OK Computer's abstract lyrics, densely layered sound, and eclectic influences laid the groundwork for Radiohead's later, more experimental work. So the record company EMI heard the record and they lowered their sales estimates and thought this thing's going to be a bit of a turkey. But it turned up reaching number 1 on the UK album charts and debuted at number 21 on the Billboard 200. Paranoid, Android, Karma Police, Lucky, No Surprises were released as singles. The album has sold at least 7.8 million units worldwide. OK Computer received critical acclaim and has been cited by listeners, critics, and musicians as one of the greatest albums of all time. Was nominated for Album of the Year and won Best Alternative Music Album at the 98 Grammy Awards. I'm done. That's all I've got to say. I'm just going to sit quietly for the rest of the episode.
Well, that would be a almost Radiohead-like podcast, wouldn't it? Just to be, divert expectations and have an hour-long silent album. Yeah, with a few bleeps and bloops in there. Yeah. You don't strike me as a Radiohead guy, Dan. Would that be correct?
I got the Bends when it came out. I was into it.
Why? What made you get the Bends?
Creep. I love Creep, but I never got that album.
Yeah. Well, that album's only got one song on it. Pablo Honey was their first. Creep was, the standout track for sure.
I remember they had that other song, Everybody Plays Guitar. Anybody can play guitar or something.
Yeah, it was crap.
Yeah, I never got that album, but I like that song. I got the Bends. It's got some good stuff on it. It's all right. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's good stuff. It was a bit noisy for me. Like a bit weird guitars. Right. Kind of put me out a bit. I think I pilfered this one off LimeWire or something back in the day. OK Computer.
All right.
It's all right. It's all right. And then I was completely out when they started doing the weird stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of people bailed. Look, I don't remember Creep coming out. I remember my first Radiohead experience was seeing the music video for High and Dry, I think, which was the single off The Bends. And
Great song.
Yeah. That's a great song. It sort of hit me, and then I think the next one was Just, or one of the rockier tunes, or maybe it was that one where he's in the shopping cart in the video.
Fake plastic trees. I think that was the best song. Yeah.
Yep. And so that sold me. I was like, right, I'm getting this album. When you're what year did that come out? Maybe 96 or something. I don't know. Bought it as
this
a
is
teenager.
97, so
Okay, I'll just say 95 then.
Years.
So, little 15-year-old me, it was an album I fully invested myself in, the Bends. I loved that. Played it end to end. You set up your fake music stage in your room and you sing into the microphone. And, I imagined myself singing Radiohead tunes.
That's quite sad.
Talent show, I was into it. I was loving it.
It's a bit pathetic, Brad. It's a bit pathetic.
We've all done it. Don't you lie. You haven't
No, you're the only one
on and gone, I'm Metallica. Thank you, Los Angeles.
No,
anyway.
Never. No one's ever done that except for you. You're pathetic.
What? Okay. I'm a trendsetter.
Loser.
I liked it. I prefer to call myself a trendsetter. Anyway, oversharing. That album led into this album, obviously. And Paranoid Android was the first single. Loved it. Weird as fuck, but loved it because it was Radiohead. And I dug them. I thought this album was genius at the time. And in re-listening upon it now, I still think it's genius. I think it's peak Radiohead. We can put it that way.
When it came out, it was called the greatest album of all time.
Yeah.
And I felt that was quite an exaggeration.
Yeah, I agree.
And what's wrong with the British? Because, this was the greatest album of all time. Oasis was supposed to be the greatest band of all time. Verb were the most influential band of all time because Oasis liked them.
Uh-huh.
The British are lying fuckholes, to be honest. Aren't they?
Wow.
Blow everything out of proportion.
That's how the Commonwealth took over the world, isn't it?
Spice Girls were the greatest, whatever they were.
All time, yeah. Yeah. The Queen. She's the best queen they've ever had. Anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
Charlie's got the best
Freddie Mercury of all time.
The best. Is he British? I don't know where Freddie was from. Segue. But yeah, I remember when
he was Indian gentleman. Wasn't he Pakistan or something like that?
Oh, Christ, I don't know. Who cares? He's dead. AIDS. Monkeypox. What the fuck was I saying? I was talking about some bullshit.
Something incredibly offensive.
No, you were talking about how it was voted the greatest album of all time. And I remember that. It was like NME and Rolling Stone or whatever it was. It was the year after it came out and they do this big, 100 greatest albums of all time. And you're like, oh, fuck, all right, there's going to be some Beatles and the Stones and all the usual shit in the top 10. You expect Sgt. Pepper's to be in there, near number one or number one. And I remember reading it and you start at number 100 and you work your way down and you go, oh, yeah, there's Pearl Jam 10, there's, Metallica, Black, fucking Nirvana, Rolling Stones, a million Beatles albums, right? They're all in there somewhere. And then you get down to the top 10 and it's like Bob Dylan's Highway 61 Revisited and Blonde on Blonde, and then there's Beatles albums. And you're like, right, I haven't seen Sgt. Pepper's yet, so that's obviously number one. And you can see where this is going. Sgt. Pepper's, number 2, OK Computer, number 1. And I'm like, it's only been out a year. How's it the greatest album of all time? All time. Don't believe you. And then the next year, when everybody's forgotten about it, it was fucking number 50 or something, and Sgt. Pepper's back at number 1, rightfully so.
So is it 25 years later now? This is 25 years old.
Oh, I think it's aged reasonably well.
Is it the greatest album of all time?
Oh, I think it's one of the greatest, alternative albums, maybe. It's definitely up there and unique, and it has vision and voice, and it's well produced, and it's a band at the peak of their powers. No doubt about that. Whether you like it or not, you have to go, fuck, that's great. Some people hate, what's Lou Reed's band? Fucking Velvet Underground, right? Everybody, Velvet Underground, fucking greatest band of all time. Or the Ramones, and some people listen to it and go, fuck, that sounds shit. Oh, I don't like that. But overall, trendsetters, great albums. And I think that's what Radiohead here and the album before, so the Bends in this, peak Radiohead, right? This maybe more than the Bends, but they're different versions of the same band. And then they've had some good stuff since. but not as good. You know, they've gone a bit, the term you like to use, bleepy bloopy.
I don't know if I've ever seen bleepy bloopy.
How would you describe the music that Daniel Johns makes now?
I haven't listened to it.
Ah.
He's doing dancey music, isn't he? Or
yeah.
Dancey hippity hops.
Hibbity hops. All right. Okay, I guess. I'm sorry, I've misquoted you. But look, from
I'd call a lot of this a bit shit, to be honest, and borderline and a bit average.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a few epics, but like there's kind of a lot of shit.
I think there's a couple of shit and a whole bunch of genius, if you ask me. But that's what we're here to discuss. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Which ones do you think are a bit shit? Throw one at me. Obviously, well, before we get into that, track 7, Fitter Happier, let's just pretend that's not on the album. You know, the, God, what's the guy in the wheelchair, super genius scientist voice guy?
Stephen Hawking's.
He's dead already, yeah. The album that's...
Before we get into the songs, is there actually anything interesting about their personalities?
I don't know.
I mean, do they actually do anything in their private lives? Any controversies?
No. I'm glad they don't have any. No pedos, or at least I don't know. What I like about Radiohead, Dan, is they're a lot like, let's say, Tool, for example, where you don't know a fucking thing about the band's personal life. I don't want to know who's growing, wine, though we know that now about the singer of Tool. But I don't want to know about my musician's home life. I just want to go, here's a song. Show me your image. That's fine. You can have an image as a band. But then I don't want to know you're a real person who shits and stinks like everybody else.
The only controversy I can think of is they played a concert in Palestine because one of the band members, Israel, because one of the band members is married to an Israeli lady. And Roger Waters stuck his fucking nose in as usual and did a rah-de-rah and in Palestine, you can't play in Israel. And they told him to fuck off or something, politely, in an English kind of way. That's the only controversial thing I kind of really know about them.
You don't need to be controversial to be a good band, do you? Is that a prerequisite?
Well, it's kind of like... I'm just kind of looking for something interesting to say about these pricks. They're boring.
They're just well-educated British shitheads who make music.
Where's the cocaine, throwing TVs out the window, crashing Lamborghinis, getting your arm chopped off in bloody car accidents? What the fuck's wrong with them? Peeing on people on stage.
Oh, my God. I'd forgotten about that until you brought it up. Still don't remember what the name of that band is.
What have they been doing with themselves all these years? They're just fucking British.
Music. Fuck, they're just making music and selling millions of albums. Losers.
Trippy, dippy music with the lazy eye.
That people love and soak up.
Making millions of dollars and not getting into any trouble at all. It just annoys me.
Living the perfect musician life.
Oh, going to church on Sunday, eating their vegetables.
Nice clothes. Not even $4,000 watches.
Have they ever been to rehab?
Oh, actually, I think. Nah, don't quote me on this. I thought Tom York did have some alcoholism thing.
Oh, thank fucking God.
Sorry, Tom, if I'm wrong. But I want to throw in some controversy for you.
Let's just say he does. Let's just say he did. Massive alcoholic. Possibly a cross-dresser.
Yeah, brutal alcoholic, long hair, records an address. All right. Oh, now it's getting interesting. So when you chuck this on for the re-listen, and you put the CD in your CD player and you hit play and it sped up and it started spinning. And the first notes of Airbag came out. How'd you feel?
Actually, I fucked it up because I listened to it on YouTube. And I had the setting on play at 1.25. So the album flew by quite quickly. But I was thinking, wow, this doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah.
I didn't realize till it finished. So I had to listen to it again at normal speed. And I have to I recommend listening to it at normal speed because it is a lot better.
At normal
as
speed?
Intended. Yeah.
Okay. Listen as intended, as the producer wished, not at 1.5 times speed. That makes perfect sense.
1.25. Yeah.
I'm glad you dropped that essential tidbit to our listeners today.
So Airbag, the first song, sounds quite messy at 1.25 speed. It sounded quite noisy.
Yeah. Sounds a little noisy at normal speed.
Yeah. I didn't like that song. I got borderline. I could probably sort of skip it. My notes are quite detailed on this one. In brackets, I wrote kind of shit.
It's a 2-word review.
Yeah, I don't really care for that one.
Yeah, that's okay. It is a tough introduction. I feel like there's way better songs on the album, but I guess, as with anything, there's always a bit of filler. And this album's strange in that songs that are filler on the first few listens stop being filler later on.
The greatest album of all time. The opening is a bit difficult.
Yep.
It doesn't sound good at 1.25 times speed. So if you like to listen to your albums at 1.25, that's probably not for you.
Do you think maybe we should try listening to Sgt. Pepper's at 1.25 speed?
I used to listen to thrash metal records. I used to high speed dub them and listen to them that way, and they were awesome. Better. Yeah.
Sweet.
And you save a little time.
Uber thrash.
Paranoid Android.
Quality. You can't go wrong. It's a modern Bohemian Rhapsody, right? Like,
I don't want to go that far.
Yeah.
I saw that on Wikipedia where they were saying they were trying to write a Bohemian Rhapsody with lots of sections.
Yeah,
I don't know. I liked it more back in the day.
Yeah, right. You have to admit it's a flagpole of songwriting though. Like you think of mid-90s, Paranoid Android's going to be in there somewhere. There's a standout track for sure. There's nothing else like it at the time. This is post. Kurt's shot his face off. Alice in Chains are fucking in the wilderness. It's post grunge. What are they trying to figure out? You got all these headless bands that don't know what they're doing, and then Radiohead. It gets away from the American thing, and it's very British, very intellectual, and it was very musical as well. This isn't fucking 3 power chords and a chorus. This is some complex shit, right? With choirs and different sections and a video that's got cartoon titties in it.
Was it? I watched that. Should have.
It was a mind fuck. I remember seeing the video the first time going, can they put this on television? I think there's even like a hand job in there somewhere. It's,
I'm going to have to mark this one up.
It's unique. Do your research. Cartoon titties.
Okay. I regret missing out on the cartoon titties and I apologize. Paranoid Android. It was named after the little robot in, what's that? The Galaxy movie.
Stop tapping your microphone on your cock.
No, I will. I refuse. What's that? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, that makes
sense. There was something there. Paranoid Android. So they stole it from me. Subterranean Homesick Alien.
Yeah, I could take or leave it. Really, like this is. I think Subterranean
greatest album of all time.
Well, that's what others have said. Neither of us have said that. I think that's a song that on the first few listens I didn't like. And then when as you go back to it over time, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, this, it fits in. I'm getting used to it. I guess as your brain figures it out. I don't know. But yeah, not as skippable as it once was for me. Yeah. But I'm always excited to get to track 4. Which I think is one of the bangers. Emotional.
Exit music.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, it's a great song. Epic, I put.
Right.
It was written for Romeo and Juliet, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes, but they pulled it at the last minute, so you're not allowed it.
Yeah, didn't they put another Radiohead song in there?
Maybe.
I'm sure they had another song on the soundtrack. Anyway, we're a Rel? Can't even speak. We are a well-researched podcast society here.
Over 4,000 hours of research goes into every episode.
Yeah, we go down to the local National Library and spend hours upon hours going through the Dewey Decimal System, finding facts about each album. That was a good fucking podcast voice there. I should keep that future episodes. But yeah, good emotional roller coaster. Great. Like what I love about this track, it was probably the first one when I listened to this album back in the day that grabbed me and pulled me in, both from tone. Yeah, it's all somber. There's a lot of somber with Radiohead, but also production-wise, like great acoustic guitar. And then when the bass and drums kick in at the end, it's genius. Just it hits you right in the feels.
I thought it was a big synth, but it sounds like maybe a big distorted bass or something.
Yeah, it'll be a distorted bass. Yeah.
Next song, Let Down. I wrote in beautiful and put epic. I enjoy that song.
Absolutely. I concur with your statement. Just another emotional journey. Again, melancholy. But those were the times we were living in back in 97.
So the big hit of the album, Karma Police, 340 million listens on the Spotify machine.
Is that the most listens off the album?
Yeah. Like Paranoid Android, 147 million. Exit Music, 116 million.
Wow, so Karma Police is like double. Wow. In the millions, double the millions.
No Surprises, 275 million.
Oh, what? Oh, is that more?
And no less, 275. Karma Police is 340.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, I'm with you. Sweet.
The rest of the album is Who Gives a Fuck.
Yeah, I could see that with Spotify. You're sort of picking and choosing what's good. Karma Police, man, that's a song that's hitting a band at everything's gelling, right? Super well produced, solid drum sound. It's all there. It's unique too. I couldn't say, right, that Karma Police song, I really like that. What's another song that's just like that? It's Radiohead. Karma Police. I don't know what the fuck he's singing about. What are the Karma Police?
He is a voice that wears on me after a while. One of those high pitchy, yeah.
He's whiny, yeah.
So next song, Fitter Happier. You don't like it. Only gets 19 million listens.
Well, you listen to it the first time and then never listen to it again.
I'm going to disagree because that's one I actually really enjoy. I kind of like it.
Wow.
I like the voice.
Psychopath.
And the speech. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
I did put filler next to it, but then I kind of also actually really enjoy it. I don't know.
Oh, fucking weird.
Yeah.
Better, happier, more productive. That's all I remember. That's all anybody remembers. You just put that on your headphones and think Stephen Hawking is like whispering in your ear, whispering sweet nothings in your ear while you're fucking hanging yourself in the closet, jerking it, wishing you were in a wheelchair.
It's like you're staring through the window, Brad.
Wow,
get up the camera.
Fuck. I just gave it away. Damn it.
Oh, God. I'm going to wave to you next time I'm on the toilet. Electioneering.
To the bowl.
Electioneering. I kind of thought this was the most standard, boring kind of a song dressed up to be something a bit more interesting. Yeah. All right.
You know, that's like a basic song with, hey, let's put some,
weird noises,
guitars in it, and it'll be a it'll fit nicely at number 8. I think they what was their producer's name? Nigel. Hey Nigel, what do you think of electioneering, Nigel? And it'd be like, yeah, put some guitars on it, boys, and we'll put it at number 8.
I would be surprised if someone said this album's a bit fucking slow, and they went, "Oh shit, let's cook up a fast song."
Yeah, let's put some triangle. I mean, though, admittedly, like you said, the record company were like, "Oh, after listening to it, projected sales gonna be a little bit down." I agree. Like the bands was Radiohead were on the way to being the next U2. You know, it was all stadium guitars, power chords, and big bombastic choruses and sort of poppy rock. And then to have this dropped on you, yeah, it's like I said, melancholy, downbeat, has moments of, you know, celebration, but it's, somber celebration. That's fucking, it's double negative. But
funny to me that they said that the bands had the introspective lyrics, and this one is more random sentences and nonsensical. But this sounds like the more introspective album with the deep, Yeah,
musically.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. But less like this record, OK Computer. I find it harder to see the influences of the band. This is more. This is our thing. This is radio. This, if you want to say the Radiohead sound, you point someone towards this. Well, this is where I would. Whereas the bands, you could go, U2 or Nirvana, or you see the influences and somebody else doing the same thing. Whereas this is pretty unique, at least in the mainstream, I think.
It was different
at that
point.
It
stood out.
Yeah, electioneering, fuck that song, but climbing up the walls. Woo! Epic. Come on.
I wrote good but goes nowhere. It kind of just carries on.
It climbs up the walls.
Well, it kind of didn't really crescendo for me. It just sort of plodded.
Always like, this is a good, like, you're driving down the motorway song. It's just a mood. And it just keeps going. And I like the build of the choruses and the sound of like the deep, echoey sound of the drums and the bass. It just feels good. It just hits the, like, musically, production wise, it hits you in the feels. I think it achieves what they were trying to get through the recording process. I mean, it's tough when you sit down. And you've done it. You sit down with your acoustic guitar or your one guitar and you go to write a song, right? And you've got here's my verses, and okay, this is my emotional chorus. To then first take it to your band and go, right, here's my track. And they go, all right, yeah, I see that. No, you want this chorus to be, okay, the bass, gotta figure it out. And you're all in the room working out the sounds, but then to go in the studio and lay it down and capture it across the board and be able to express on the tape the exact feeling you were trying to get across when it's just you with your acoustic guitar, and do it better. That's this, man. Like, woo.
I think I remember back in the day they started recording this album, then abandoned it and moved somewhere else because it didn't have the right feeling.
Right, they needed to go somewhere more haunted, I'm sure. Did you say this was recorded in some fucking mansion somewhere?
It was partly at Jane Seymour's house, which you look at it, it's a great big stone manor kind of a thing. And then they went back to a studio and finished off bits.
Right.
A
lot of bands do that, eh? Like, go get out of the studio and go and take portable equipment to a venue and record there. I think Led Zeppelin did it with, was it Headley Grange or whatever they recorded? One of their albums.
Pink Floyd did it.
Yeah.
Rolling Stones and all those. I was told they got £100,000 by the record company to go record this thing.
Right. Doesn't seem like much.
Maybe I actually watched a producer talking the other day, and he said like the average big debut for a major label band is about 65 grand US.
All right.
A more upmarket album by a successful band might be 125 kind of a thing.
Yeah, right.
So £100,000 was quite a bit.
That's a lot. Yeah. Well, I guess they're coming off the back of a pretty big album. The Bends was huge, really. Had a few big singles off it. I don't know what number they got to, but Fake Plastic Trees was definitely all over the airwaves here. And if it's doing that here, then fuck, it's got to be booming.
I remember it had a lot of songs, a lot of singles from the bands. So that gets 30 million listens. So that's a no one gives a shit. Electioneering, 29 million. Who gives a shit? No Surprises, 275 million.
Yeah, it was a big
That's single. A fucking song.
Yeah, great song. Do you remember the video where he essentially drowned himself in that fishbowl on his head?
No.
So they start the video and it's just Tom York's face in a fishbowl. And then as he's singing, it fills up with water from the bottom. This is a single shot. There's no cuts. And it goes all the way up, over his nose, over his eyes, and then it fills this fishbowl. And he's singing underwater. And he's singing away. And he gets to, I don't know what point in the song is, and then the water just goes, drops out. And he's fucking, you can see in his eyes that he's right at the end of, his breath or whatever. And he goes, and then he keeps singing or miming the rest of the song. It's a great video. Super simple, fucking intense. Reminded me a lot of, who was the bald chick? Fuck, I wish I was better with names.
Skunk Nancy?
No. Sinead O'Connor did Nothing Compares to You. It was that just her face. She sings the song. She cries in a single take. Beautiful, right?
Before she went completely crazy.
I think she was crazy at the time,
Before we noticed her being crazy.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, before she ripped up a picture of the Pope. That'll do it. Great video. Check it out. No Surprises. And a great song. And I think the UK's only number one with a xylophone in it.
Oh, does it? Oh, yeah. I got a compilation album and this was on it. And this was a song I just listened to over and over again. I thought it was great. Ended up getting into getting OK Computer.
Yeah. Right.
Last two songs, spoiler alert, didn't like them. Lucky and The Tourist. And Lucky was a single, apparently.
Yeah, I don't see it. Lucky I could leave, when we get to the next section, you'll learn it doesn't do well. The Tourist, I'm happy for it to be there. I think it's a boring way, but a way to wrap up an album. I'm sure if I sat down...
a fizzle, isn't it?
Yeah. But if I sat down with a lyrical sheet, for the whole album, I'm sure somehow it would wrap up some theme that Thomas is trying to get us to, be a part of.
In my 4,000 hours of research, I discovered where the name OK Computer came from. Forget what it was. It was either a book or a movie.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, I think it was from Hitchhikers as well.
Oh, everything's from there. All right, we'll just say it was, even if it's not. So Tom's an alcoholic, and the album title's from Alcoholic Crossdresser, who likes to watch Hitchhiker's Guide. Or maybe he only read the book. I don't know.
Possibly a pedo.
Wow. I'm not going to put that out in the universe. Dan, that's not me. That's you.
We're all possibly a pedo, though, aren't we?
No.
Okay, so what have you got for skippability? How many would you skip? Out of 12 songs, it's 53 goddamn minutes.
It hasn't filled a CD. A CD can take 75 minutes. So there's plenty of empty space there. They could have put a hidden song on or something. Look, I chuck it on. I'm listening all the way through to, I'm getting right through the first 6 songs, generally. I guess occasionally you'd skip Airbag and Subterranean, but I'm not going with occasionally. I'm going every time. Fitter, happier. I'm fucking skip, and then I'm skipping 8 as well. So I'm getting rid of 2. Climb Up the Walls. I'm going to listen to No Surprises. I'm absolutely listening to Lucky's out of there, and The Tourist is out of there. So I'm going to skip 4 out of the 12. Gosh. And that's with a couple of borderlines. I'll be fair. Like mood-wise, if you're not in the mood for Subterranean, Homesick Alien, you don't have to listen to it. But no, I think for me, that's 8 out of 12. That's pretty solid. Pretty solid.
Greatest album ever made. 8 out of 12.
Number 1.
I got
better than Sgt. Pepper.
I think what did I got? I got 3 filler and 4 borderlines. Borderline meaning I could kind of skip it, or I'm explaining it for the audience, Brad. For fuck's sake!
Hey, it's just you and me here.
Christ.
Nobody listens to this shit. It's just you and me.
Biggest podcast on the internet. Like and subscribe. Yeah, 3 of all. So, and I got 3 or 4 epics.
Send nudes.
4 epics. Yeah. Brad and I have started a OnlyFans page, which we're inviting people to support us.
It's called Only Dan's.
Yeah, we wear some really cute outfits, and they're a little bit too naughty for YouTube. And check it out.
Yeah, there's some dancing. We've got rhythm.
Oh,
see, Denise
do ASMR.
Starting OnlyFans.
Yeah, it's about 30 years late.
Oh, shots fired.
I think mine would do better than hers at this point. God.
You're gonna hear from Miss Richards' agents. Richards?
I think Charlie Sheen's would do better than hers.
I'd check out Charlie's, sure.
Yeah, you see what he's packing.
Yeah, I'm sure it's, and there's plenty of Sheen on it.
Plenty of Charlie, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I am Charlie. Yeah, know what I mean.
So what are you rating this son of a bitch, Brad?
Oh, we're getting into that already. Look,
37 minutes in, Brad.
Fuck, what a great episode. If you've lasted this far, if you've made it 37 minutes in, like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star review.
Join us on OnlyFans.
Join us on OnlyFans, or join Denise Richards and Charlie Sheen on OnlyFans. Probably not worth the $5 a month, but actually, I don't know.
Join our OnlyFans instead. You'll get my legs are far superior, my butt tighter, my bosom firm and subtle.
You get entertained. You won't get off. You'll be entertained.
If you're bulimic and you're having trouble throwing up, our OnlyFans is perfect.
OnlyFans. Yeah. If you've been vomit free since 2003, join our OnlyFans.
If you're constipated, we will fix that. Yeah.
Ratings. Yes. Okay, computer. Look, I'm still a big fan of early Radiohead, and I would recommend this album to people for sure. There's a couple of golden, like Hail to the Thief and Amnesiac and stuff that came after. I still rate, like, huge, massive band. They're up there for me as, one of those, what do you call them? Gold standard bands, I suppose. I rate them highly, and this is peak Radiohead for me. So I'm gonna give it. Like, I'm giving it 9 lazy eyes out of 10.
What? 8 out of 12 songs, you're giving it a 9.
Yep, absolutely. You always like go, yeah, look at you, I'm listening to you, rated it wrong. Why are you rating on there? You said you can skip it. I can rate it however I like. I think it's a quality album. Yes, there's some crap on there, but the joy of it, the overall brilliance of it outweighs a couple of crap songs. You gave the fucking Black Album a 10 out of 10, and I think that's a pile of dog shit. So, continue. Check out our previous episode on
Brad, and I hate half the songs on the record. 9.
Why do we do this? Why are we friends?
I'm trying to think of something sarcastic to rate this out of.
Oh. Well, you're taking too long. I guess snappy. Do more fucking cocaine. Get on with it.
That's what I was going to say before. This is an album that needs more cocaine, a bit of pep in its step, you know? Like, if they were drug addicts, this would be a far superior album.
Okay. But then they just grow up and be like fucking James Hetfield and cry on stage and say, I need my brothers. I've been too far with the drugs and the alcohol. That was bad. Yeah.
That motherfucker's like fucking tragic as shit. That's why he makes great albums.
Does he?
Fucking genius. He's a troubled man. That's where it comes from. The pain from his soul.
Yeah, from my soul.
Yeah.
Money bags for shoes.
Yeah.
Ain't no Napster.
He's got soul, motherfucker. Soul. He's done drugs. He's banged 10 million fucking women.
Has he though?
Keeping it together.
Yeah, lots
Guy's
of
hanging
sheen
on by his fucking fingernails. God bless him.
Yeah, plenty of sheen on his cock.
Oh, hell yeah. I can't wait for the tell-all book from those dudes, like back in the day. The stories. Have you seen that Metallica Year and a Half in the Life when they go on tour? It's like trying to get girls to go backstage and they got to take the drumstick up to the logo or they can't get back and shit. Like, oh. Yeah, it's a hell of a thing.
Future episode, drumsticks in your vagina.
Yeah. I'm going to give this.
How many drumsticks are you going to give this? How many would you fit in there?
Yeah, I think Radiohead would be too polite to insert any drumsticks anywhere.
Well, for those that are going to tune into our OnlyFans later, how many drumsticks are you going to use?
I could fit a bag of drumsticks.
It's very loose.
A couple of colonoscopies later, you can do a lot of things you didn't do in your 20s, Brad.
The wide open spaces.
Yeah, I'm going to give this 6 colostomy bags out of the possible 10.
Oh, see, that's higher than I thought you'd give it. See, that's all right. That's 6.
Yeah, the good stuff elevates it. The good stuff elevates it, but then, you know what I mean.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Do you acknowledge before we say goodnight? Do you acknowledge that this is, it's a classic album? Whether you like it or not.
It's a band that had some hits 25 years ago. Like it's another Boston.
When the fuck did Nirvana last have a hit? You know?
Yeah. Well, they had solid albums, like good from beginning to end.
Did they though?
No, never mind.
Did they though?
What's wrong with never mind?
Never mind. I'm going to give you never mind. Absolutely. Start to finish. Brilliant. In Utero, some hit and miss on there. Bleach, you see our previous episode.
There's a couple of hits and misses, but more hits than this thing.
Not in Utero. In Utero's got more misses than hits, I reckon.
I'd have to re-listen to it, but it had some great ones.
Well, let's do that in the future. Okay, computer. If you're a weirdo who doesn't like society and technology, you'll fucking love this album.
I think this computer's running on Linux.
You
should have brought it back. Linux.
Running on MS-DOS.
Yeah, it's running on DOS. It's probably
Mm.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Check
Are
it
we
out,
done
people.
with this?
Yeah, I think we're done. We've done the smut too, so.
Yeah. To be fair, for me, it just doesn't have enough chugga 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 chugga.
Yeah, you do need some chugga chugga. We're learning that. We're learning it together.
Right.
Sign up to OnlyFans.